The federal government has a role to play and has obligations. As a former environment minister, I can tell you that it's not so much that we need new rules and regulations. More often than not, it's the failure to enforce existing rules and regulations that's the main problem. With regard to natural resources, of course, the provinces play the primary role, but the federal government has constitutional jurisdiction over such things as groundwater, especially when it can be proven to be moving between provinces, navigable lakes and rivers, and don't forget, the Conservatives, John Baird, when he was the minister, described the Navigable Waters Protection Act as the greatest job killer in Canada. That was his exact term. And then they proceeded with the culpable complicity of the Liberals to gut the Navigable Waters Protection Act. That's something that we're still living with as a consequence. And that approach, so the federal government has not been applying legislation on fisheries, which is federal legislation. They've not been applying federal legislation to protect water. They have not been looking at the cumulative health effects, especially on First Nations. So there are any number of things that the federal government can and should be doing with regard to these systems, even if it's not the federal government that issues the permits for new companies that are going to be exploiting in the tar sands, and that is indeed a provincial jurisdiction. The federal government does have a role, and it's simply not exercising its authority, and it's not enforcing the rules that it does have to, and that are part of its purview constitutionally.